Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're without Dylan. It's just going to be Renee and I. And we're going to be installing the flywheel and the clutch on the Corvette engine. First, we have to take off the extremely heavy safety bell housing, which I decided to put on earlier because I wanted to see how it looked on the engine. On reflection, probably shouldn't have done that, but I did, so that's what we're dealing with right now. I have to unbolt it all and take off this very heavy piece of metal, which, spoiler alert, I end up not using, but we'll get to that at a later video. Right now, I'm explaining to Renee that I had the machine shop balance this flywheel because this originally was a 400 flywheel, which has an offset balance on it due to the stroke of the engine. But we're putting it on a 350, which is neutral balanced. So I had the machine shop neutral balance the flywheel and then ground off the offset balance weight. Turns out they didn't take the whole thing off though, which was good, because if I would have just been doing it from my garage, I would have just ground the whole thing off, thinking the whole thing had to go. So anyway, we're going to get the flywheel on, and then I'm going to be installing the new ARP hardware that I bought. These are probably the strongest bolts you can get, and I did it for safety reason. I don't want anything flying off that isn't supposed to fly off, which is nothing. So right now we're hand fitting to make sure that the bolts all go on, and then we're going to take them back out and install the lubrication that ARP supplies with the bolts. Right now Renee's checking the torque specs, since she's going to be the one eventually operating the torque wrench, and we will be bolting on the flywheel. Spoiler alert again, this isn't the only time we bolted on. Anyway, you'll find out why later on. So installing the lube, and then since we're just doing an initial tighten down, it's a little bit quicker to just have Renee use the half-inch Renee's using the half-inch ratchet here to do the initial tighten down, and then we'll use the torque wrench to do the final, not quite final, but you'll find out again. So yeah, showing Renee how to use the torque wrench, and we've got everything set up. And now I'm going to be using a tool that I use a lot more than I thought I ever would, and it's the flywheel holder. And here I am using it wrong. There I am using it right. Okay, got it on there, and then I'm holding everything in place while, yeah, and this gives it away. I had told Renee the wrong torque number, and we're not going to discover that until later. We promised to show the mistakes, folks, and we're going to do that. So anyway, doing it in a star pattern, like you should. And I didn't even have to say anything to Renee about that. The kids grew up with me hammering that into their heads. And now I'm cleaning off any grease or fingerprints off of the flywheel, because you definitely don't want anything to have the clutch slip. So, and doing the same thing for the pressure plate of the clutch. And here comes the disc. Make sure to put it on the right way. All right, I have more ARP bolts. Those are going to be holding the clutch on. So we'll get those set up. And I'm explaining to Renee right there, the washers go on a certain way. The instructions will tell you, so I'm not leaving you hanging by not explaining, but make sure you pay attention to that. So, dividing the labor here, get ready to bolt on the clutch. And I'm using a universal tool that I've had since the 70s. And it does okay, but sometimes there's a little bit of a misalignment because there's some slop and because it is a universal tool. So I want to make sure we got the clutch disc centered in the clutch assembly, and that's what we're checking right now, and then tightening down to hold everything in place. And then we'll torque it once everything's all snugged up. I don't know if you saw the clutch tool just moved a little bit. It gives you an idea how much slop there possibly could be. If you can, get one of those specialized tools that it's essentially a clutch, or especially the input of the transmission. It copies that. And it's on my list, but so far, at the time of this, I'll say I didn't have one. All right, now we're tired of fastening stuff down, so we're going to snug everything up with the air tools. And that's fine as long as you don't do the final. Oh, no, we're not. That's why. This is the part where I had told Renee the torque setting that was on the torque wrench was the correct one when it was wrong. So this is the final tear down, and since we've got everything down through repetition, we're able to do this a lot quicker. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, good thing the sound was off because she called me some choice names. Yes, she should. So anyway, we're doing the torque down again. Yeah, we didn't torque anything down with air tools. That was for disassembly only. I had forgotten. So glad when your mistakes go on the internet for the whole world to see. Again, dividing up the labor, and then Renee will do the final torque down. And if I remember correctly, this actually is the final torque down. Okay, now me setting up the torque wrench, paying extra close attention to the settings, as did Renee. And here we go. Now putting on this heavy piece of metal. And one of the things with this safety bell housing, I didn't realize when I bought it, is I thought it was just going to be fastening down all the normal mounting holes, but then there's the plate that you saw earlier, that piece of metal, that's there in case the clutch blows up. It won't destroy the engine. Yeah, it's a block saver plate is what they call it. But that plate has to be also fastened to the bell housing on the lower portion. And that's what we're doing here. And yeah, there's a lot of bolts. It's a pain, but for safety, it's just too bad I wasn't able to use this thing. I didn't know it at the time we were doing this video, though. Live and learn. That's why I tell you all the mistakes that we made, so hopefully you won't do the same thing. And if there's someone out there that has a different bell housing that will work, I'm all for it. I don't happen to know what one is, and we wanted to keep going on the project, so I can tell you this particular Lakewood one didn't. Not anything against Lakewood, fine product. It just didn't happen to work for this particular one. If anyone out there has a way to make this work, please let me know, because I would, at a later date, put this back on, because I really don't want to waste $700. But such is life. So Renee's doing the torque down on the mounting bolts for that would be the stock bolts for the engine, the normal engine to bell housing mounting bolts. So she's doing a modified star pattern, since we're doing just the upper half right now. And then I'm going to semi-crawl underneath and do the bolts from the back. Yeah, I think there's like 8 of them. But giving her the easier part because I'm a dad. Again, really happy I'm not doing this underneath the car. Although I might have to now if I figure out a way to use this bell housing, because I will want to swap it out. And that is it.